when you went to his event, you were bankrupt. And
Yes.
of course, they had a mentorship program that was, and you couldn't remember that or not, maybe it was 10,000 or whatever it was at the time, 10 or 12 or 15,000, which is back then, it's a lot of money. Your parents were willing to give you their credit cards to put this mentorship on. And unlike most people, one, you went to that event and you said, you know what, I'm not going to just go home and let this information die. I'm going to do something with it. You got the mentor, which I think, guys, anything you're doing in real estate, please get a mentor. Or anything you're doing in business, get a mentor.
Oh, 100%.
Surround yourself with people that are, operate at a higher level than you. And you got that mentor, and then you took action. I wish we could go back in time and dive into your exact thinking process and your thought process of when your mentor was saying, okay, do this, this, and this, what you were thinking versus the action you were taking. But obviously you were taking the specific action that your mentor was telling you to take. And there had to be fear there.
Oh, it
of
was
taking
100%.
that action.
There was so much fear on that, John. It was crazy on things. I mean, it was insane on that. But you know what? I was at a point where I'm like, during that time too, man, I studied a lot. Like, these are the early days of studying a lot, like of Tony Robbins and stuff too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And literally, dude, I had the old cassette player, with the, like the Walkman.
Yeah. I've actually got some of those, the tapes. I don't have the full set, but I've got most of them underneath here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would take those, pop those in, and I would go walking. And literally, John, this is interesting you bring this up, because I think a lot of people struggle with this, and this is something I think all your viewers can benefit from. But literally, guys, you can reprogram your mind. You can literally reprogram your mind, and that's exactly what I did. I was so focused on that. I was reprogramming it from where I was at and where I had been, and I was reprogramming it to think differently. And I was doing that on the mindset, but also I was programming too to understand how to do the real estate biz. And I became, this is something that most people don't get, is you have to become obsessed towards your goals.
Yep. I'm writing that down. Guys, do you hear that? You've got to become obsessed to your goals. The other day, Jerry and I were talking to my students, and we were talking about commitment. And that once you commit, providence shifts, providence moves mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you've got to be obsessed with your goals.
And that's what I realized. And I also, John, I think I shared to you the other night that something was like, to me, this is like groundbreaking, phenomenal, if somebody just gets this. And that is and I shared the other night that this was a mass study done of wannabe entrepreneurs and real entrepreneurs. And what was the biggest thing they saw regarding a difference between the two? And what they came out with was it's something called a point of no return. And they realized that wannabe entrepreneurs typically very few had, if anything at all, a point of no return. Mm-hmm. And they realized that entrepreneurs had a point of no return, and most of the time they had multiple ones. Mm-hmm. And they said, what was the biggest thing that made that difference there? And they said, actually making a financial commitment into your future self.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow. I mean, I kind of shared with you the other night too. It was like a gentleman that was extremely overweight. And he went out and made a financial commitment to his future self by having tailor-made suits at a different size. Yeah. Much smaller than what he could fit into now. And I see that, like with students, there's like, you have students you work with, and I have students I work with that like come to my events and stuff like that. And I find that people that commit into their future self, and make that financial investment are the ones that are going to move the needle more than other people, because so many other people, as you know too, they talk about, oh, I could do this, should have done this, I can't afford this and all this stuff, and they program that in, and it's like, okay, dude, you know, are you going to live like the rest of the pack?
And they've got that, you know, the one day mentality. Well, maybe one day.